Welcome, everyone, to the best sports betting show on the planet, where the goal is very simple. We're just going to try to make our bankroll a little bit bigger today than they were yesterday. Welcome, everyone. I'm Andy, subbing for the Prez, who is once again crushing in poker. So fingers crossed that he does really well. We got a really, really nice show for everybody. Johnny's going to be in here. He's going to tell us where all the sharp money is. We're going to talk to Crackman. We're going to talk about some NBA and some NHL nuggets of information. Speaking of nuggets, Bryan Power is going to be here. He's going to talk about the Denver Nuggets and the Clippers. Going to break down a baseball game. But first, let's bring in Bryan Leonard. Let's get going with NHL, guys. We got some huge, huge games tonight. We've got Colorado, Dallas. We've got Edmonton and Los Angeles. Please hit the like button, guys. We did amazing getting to 200,000 subscribers. That was a lot of fun. Bryan, first off, welcome. Hope everything's going well for you, sir. How was your weekend?
Hey, everything is going fine. Coming off a big 5% last night on Las Vegas Golden Knights. And I liked them so much, I laid the 1.5. And with 0.1 seconds to go, I got my cover in that. So, yeah, that's a nice thing to take a look at, and something I wasn't expecting. But, yeah, it's hockey been very, very good to me.
I love it, man. Let's continue the momentum coming off of a really nice 5% win. Let's first talk about Colorado. Dallas, obviously, Colorado had the huge win. Game one, McKinnon was an absolute monster. Does Dallas make adjustments, or are they overmatched in this one?
You know, this is one of the kind of games that I take a look at, and I think we find some value here. It's hard to back Dallas after losing 8 straight games, but if you take a look at the numbers off of moneypuck.com, which is a site that tells you how the game is being played out, because we all know, like baseball, hockey is a very lucky sport. A puck bounces off for a guy's stick when he's right there, he's wide open. Many situations in hockey where the team who wins a game doesn't deserve it, and that's what we're looking at here. The expected goals in that game favored the Stars, 3.84 to 3.64. And if you take a look at the Money Puck expect to win value, Dallas had a 54.9% chance for victory. It's tough to fully back a team, as I mentioned, on an 8-game losing streak. But if you're looking for value, and that's what we do, I think Dallas is a good spot here. Obviously, Jason Robinson has been rolled out for game 2, as he also missed that opener, the game that Colorado won 5-1. So you got a team at home, traditionally has a very strong home ice advantage, often embarrassing loss. That's something I want to take a look at. You know, when you look at the 5-on-5 expected goal share last 30 days, Colorado's at 52.68, Dallas 44.14, and over the entire season, the numbers are 52.32 for the Avalanche, 50.13 for the Stars. So I do believe that Colorado is the better team, but Dallas owns a season-long plus 10 net goal advantage between the two, as the Colorado Avalanche started the year very poorly, but since then they've been a much better team. But from a motivational standpoint, Dallas cannot afford to go down 0-2 with both games being at home. Colorado's a better team, but there's no way Dallas, and with the home advantage that they have had over the years, not just this year, they've been very good at home, to get down as a plus 125 here, to me, that's a no-brainer. The last 8, it's tough to do when you're not playing well, but still, it's a game they have to have, and everything is on this game for Dallas, whereas Colorado doesn't need it nearly as much. And as was pointed out, with the deserve to win and the expected goals, Dallas was right in there despite the final score.
Love it. Bryan Leonard, everyone. You can find him at B Leonard Sports, also on WagerTalk. Edmonton and Los Angeles, first game of the series. Los Angeles 3-1 versus Edmonton the regular season. I don't know do you really take that much into account, because 2 of the games are kind of towards the end of the season, and I'm not really sure how motivated they were. So what do you make of the series?
I actually do a little bit in this one.
Okay.
I think the bettors do also, because we're seeing the Kings as a favorite here, and a small favorite in the series and small favorite in the game, but the games that they won in LA Kings fashion. The Kings are a team that wants to play defense and win in that way. And Edmonton's a team, although they changed goalies this year and they've been better defensively and had better goaltending, they try to win in higher scoring games. Well, all the games in this series were pretty much low scoring games. The Kings played their type of game and they won. And that's something we can take a look at here. They won 3 of the 4 on the season, and the hosts has won 3 of 4. And the Kings have been terrific on this ice, 31-10 during the regular season at home. Alcombe remains out for Edmonton. Draisaitl is going to play tonight, but the line overall is where we expected it, and that's good in this one because I look for the game to go under the total. LA playing at home in an area where they should be able to dictate the pace with the record that they have had. And we're getting a 5.5 here for two teams who know each other better than anybody else in the playoffs. I mean, they've been against each other for so many years. There's not many surprises between these two. I think it's a grinded out game. I like the Kings to stay in this game and play it very well down to the end. And I think it's a low scoring game. So I'm going to take the under 5.5 in this matchup.
It does feel like they play like every year. It's like
It's
like an annual tradition. Like,
yes,
Edmonton's playing the Kings in the playoffs.
I did another show, the hockey show, and I mentioned it reminds me in baseball with the Minnesota Twins and the New York Yankees. Twins would go on, have themselves a season. They'd meet the Yankees in the first round and lose. Well, I think this is the year that the Kings have the best chance to win this. Edmonton comes in a little bit banged up a little bit, and the Kings have been very good, and they've been able to score this year, whereas in the past it's strictly been a defensive team. But it's going to be a great series, but I think if this one comes out a low-scoring fight, we'll take the under.
Love it, Bryan Leonard. Everyone hit the like button. Bryan, tell everyone what you have up at WagerTalk.
Right now, I've got one play up in hockey. I've got another play I'm about to put up. It's more of a prop game situation. They're not really out yet. In the NBA, I'm looking at that. Don't know if I'll have a play today. I did have the Cavaliers yesterday. It's a pretty good play. But baseball, I just put up a baseball play also. So you're getting the best of us on Monday. And as you put up right there, this is the last day, I believe, to get that $11 per day special. So you want to take advantage of that for us. We'll have at least 2 plays, possibly as many as 4, including a big 4% play. So that's up right now, and follow us the rest of the day as we continue to try to dig out and find some more plays to put up for our clients.
Great stuff, Bryan. Always love listening to your take on the hockey games and the hockey series. Best of luck today. Have a great one.
Thank you.
Yeah, Bryan mentioned it. 7 days. It is the last day. $11 per day. You get to pick any handicapper. This is good for myself. This is good for Bryan Leonard, Gianni, Crackman, Bryan Power, any of your favorite handicappers. You get 7 days instant discount down to $11 per day. We've got NBA season in the playoffs. We've got NHL playoffs. We've got MLB. It is a jam-packed week. Myself, I have UFC that is already up. So this is a jam-packed week. A lot of sports. There are a lot of sports out there. So the only thing better than cashing some winners is doing it at a discount. So take advantage of that. $11 per day. WT.buzz/deals. You can go pick your handicapper, and you can also save big with Flex Picks. Flex Picks becoming one of the more popular items on WagerTalk. Took me a while to really understand how it works, but you can take advantage of Flex Picks, and you get your package, and then you get to pick which handicapper, and you can change your handicapper each day. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out, leave a comment. We can walk you through the whole process. All right, let's bring in the man, the myth, the legend, Gianni, who is number 1 last 7 days and number 1 last 30 days. Gianni, isn't it beautiful when you wake up and you log on the website and you see your name there? Congratulations on that. I'm assuming you had a really nice weekend.
Yeah, thank you. And climbing now top 4 in 2025. Coming off the second losing year in the last 10. I said all eyes were on. I knew everybody was the pressure was going to be on, and I felt so confident I was a heavy favorite when December 31st rolls around that we will be up for the year. I'm positioned right now with the guys that I'm working with. I haven't been in this position, honestly, in well over a decade. And I think my subscribers that have been with me that long can totally see it by the information they're being sent. I sent them, I think, 5 lacrosse plays Saturday that I think we went like 4-1 in. I'm getting them in college baseball, in MLB. We're up in MLB, up in college baseball, still sitting, should be at number 1 baseball overall. So I'm getting some really good information, and I'm hoping to be able to get them in a position where we're so far ahead when football comes, because I got the college football crew that I've been waiting to work for a very long time. And now I'm able to get them enough money down as they're seeing in baseball that I'll be up on the food chain getting their stuff bright and early. So really excited for what's ahead, and subscribers are able to take advantage. And if you do jump on for the year, you get the blackjack class tomorrow. And more importantly, you get the first 3 or 4, is it now, classes. So you'll be all the way caught up. But yeah, really excited about everything we're doing. And again, I got some Major League Baseball. I got some NBA, and I also got some NHL for you as well.
Let's talk about it. What's the sharp money when you woke up this morning?
All right. In NHL, it's over Montreal, Washington, but that was at 5.5. At 6, not one person has asked me to get them a 6. But we did bet over 5.5 in the overnights. I didn't release that to subscribers because I just didn't think they were going to be able to get it. It's not fair. I figure if it goes over 5.5, the worst they could do is push on a 6 if we cash. But still, I just didn't feel like I was being fair then because there weren't all that many 5.5s available. But also the side, I believe, let me just confirm it, was LA Kings. LA Kings at -115. Also in NBA, real quickly, we are on the LA Clippers at +1. Now they're -1, so really no big difference there. And I can tell you this already. I'll give it to you. Why not? I love you guys. You're here bright and early with us. I released to my subscribers immediately. They're on Milwaukee. We're on Milwaukee Bucks tomorrow night. So a 4% play. I upgraded it to 4% on Milwaukee for tomorrow night at +5. If you're getting 4.5s, which is pretty much painted across the screen because we bought up all the 5s, I highly recommend buying the 0.5 point up the +5. Just don't lay more than 121 to get there. You're getting the best of it. Most should charge you only -120. In that case, you're getting the best of it because you should pay about 11 or 12 cents for that. And I also sprinkled money line. So let me just put it out there now. I got 4% play on Milwaukee, but I bet 0.25. So obviously that's 1% of bankroll, and then a small sprinkle on Milwaukee Bucks money line also tomorrow night at +165. I don't know if that's still available. So again, I wouldn't take worse than +160. Not sure what it is right now. And we also went over 226.5 that I gave out as a 3% play. And the groups took over 227 as well. So I let subscribers know at 227 you could get down also. So for tomorrow, we're on Milwaukee Bucks plus the 5 as a 4% play. Milwaukee Bucks plus 165 money line, 2% play, and a 3% play on the over 226.5 in the Milwaukee game. So you got my 3 bets for tomorrow's NBA for free. That would have been a nice $29 package. Damn, I'm putting myself, I'm losing money doing this show. But it's okay. As long as the people are following and making some money, that's all that matters.
Well, as somebody who is an Indiana Pacers fan, I would like to say boo on your Milwaukee Bucks pick. Let's have them win. Let's have them cover and not win.
That's it. Just give me the cover. I could lose the money line. That's okay. Got to sprinkle a little something. But I see the guy, he said, yeah, with Illard back, it will be a popular play. I do think so as well. I can't really tell so far because the volume's so low on where the recreational bettors will be, but we'll revisit that tomorrow morning. But, we'll see. I'm not too concerned about being on the public side. Again, unless you're getting 110 and you're the book, it really doesn't matter, man. They're about 50% long-term. The VIG just eats them up.
Yeah, I used the Pacers plus 1.5 games in the series as a piece. Ooh. And I was like, oh, Lillard's out. And I literally think 2 hours later, they were like, oh, he's off the blood thinners. Oh, he's going to come back. So I took the bad number on that one, but I still like my parlay piece. So Gianni, you mentioned, listen, you're very open and honest about last year was a losing year. Did you make any big mindset changes this year? Because I'm coming off a losing week, and we're going to talk about that at the end of the show. I have no problems talking about it. So, plays are one thing, but if your mindset isn't right. So what did you do coming into this year?
Honestly, I decided to be a lot more selective. Number one, that was key. Lower in volume so that it's easier for my long-term guys to be able to overcome the negative fluctuations that's going to happen even during our best years. So I had to become more disciplined for myself to make them a little bit more disciplined. And to do that, I just simply tightened up the parameters on what a premium play will be. And the volume has dropped a lot. I know I'm still a little heavier volume than most guys, but compared to what I was, leading into this year, I've really been able to lower volume. And to be honest with you, I went out there and hunted down more sources of information. I maybe got a little lazy because it almost felt like automatic. Like, I documented from not just WagerTalk, from another site before that I had of my own, and every play was out there every single day. I kept it up there since 2015, November of 2015, and I had a winning year in 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. I think I lost in 2019 and came back with a huge, 2020 was my best year, and then won in 2021, 2022, 23, and you kind of just get content and almost lazy. Again, I'm not doing this to brag about the long-term results, but that's just what ends up happening. Like, you start to get comfortable and take it for granted of just how difficult this game is of having to lay 11 to win 10. And, how few people are actually profitable long-term and have positive lifetime earnings. So I felt like, I think I took that a little bit for granted and felt like it was automatic. I work with winning groups. As long as I send out that volume at good numbers, when the dust settles, we're going to be ahead. And baseball last year ended up killing me. Because the group that I really think is the best in baseball, I wasn't able to get all their stuff because I didn't have the accounts needed to be as high up on the food chain. And that really hurt me, because the way we were betting baseball is we were attacking it money line, run line. So we're betting both of those. So it's like a loss was ended up losing double, and I just got behind. And I kept finding a little comfort in the when in doubt, zoom out, and figuring, okay, well, I won, 8 of the last 9 years. What's the worst? 8 of 10. But still, some people just jumped on that year, and I felt I didn't do my job for them. And my only job is that when December 31st rolls around, to have produced a profit, or otherwise I failed them. Again, I can't control if I'm going to win for you tonight or this week or this month. And I said that back in the video when I sat down with Kelly when I joined WagerTalk. My exact words were, I cannot guarantee you'll win tonight, this week, or this month. But what I can guarantee you is long-term, I'm going to put in enough volume with an edge that we will be profitable when the dust settles. And year after year, we will turn a profit. We'll have a losing year, because that's just going to happen. But I felt confident that over the long term, when the dust settles, we'll be ahead. I've been able to do that. But still, you're only as good as your last bet, and recency biases in all of us. And I had a horrific year last year where I lost the bankroll. And real quickly, I don't want to go long on me because they have one picks. I'm going to give you some baseball before I jump off. Don't worry about that. But I chose to work with an 80-20 risk of ruin, meaning my bet size, where I was comfortable doubling my bankroll 8 to 10 times and losing it 2 or 10 times. Because once you gain an edge, then you determine what your risk of being ruined is by the amount of units you have. You could have a 1% risk of ruin, which means you're going to double your bankroll 99 out of 100 times. That's the math behind it if you have an edge. But to do that, you need 1,000 units. So if you're betting $10 per unit, let's say you're spreading your regular bets, your weakest bet is 1x, and your best bets are 5x, kind of like the rating at WagerTalk from 1% to 5%. And again, I urge you to understand, those are a reflection of strength. They're not a bet size recommendation, because if you're betting 5% per bet, you're going to get yourself in a lot of trouble and pretty much go broke before you know it. But getting back to that, I was comfortable with an 80-20. I'll double 8 out of 10. I'll lose 2 out of 10. And that's kind of what happened, where I had 8 winning years and 2 losing years. But to get to that 1% risk of ruin, Andy, to where you could say, I have winning information, or I'm a winning originator, and I have a real low risk tolerance. So I want to double my bank 99 out of 100 times. This is the math behind it. It's not my opinion. You need 1,000 units. So let's say you're betting from 1x to 5x, like the WagerTalk rating is, and you're saying, I'm going to go $10 a unit. From $10, 2%, $20, 3%, $30, 4%, $40, 5%, $50. So I'm going from $10 to $50, my best bet. You need $10,000 to have a 1% risk of ruin, to where you're going to double 99 out of 100. And let's be honest, how many bettors in the world have a $10,000 bankroll and are betting $50 max bet, where most of their average bets are $30. Pretty much nobody's doing that except
that's not happening. It's just not. It's not realistic.
Books.
Yeah, it's not realistic. It's just not happening.
That's the problem.
It isn't. Even the most like conservative bettors with a $10,000 bet roll, they're not putting $50 on them. That's a sprinkle.
They're not going to do it. And again, but think how many bankrolls did those bettors lose over and over and over again, betting $100, $200 a game, $300 a game, $500 a game with that 10 dime bankroll. You know?
You're right. You're absolutely 100% right. Gianni, you said you got some. Yeah, guilty. Hey, listen, I've been profitable the last 3 years. I still have some accounts that lifetime are negative from the holes I got.
Andrew, not you, not Andy. Andrew W. It's by design. I repeat myself because it's muscle memory. That's one thing I learned working in the office with the betting syndicates. They said the same thing over and over. And you know what it reminded me of? The reason when you walk into any MMA gym and you see that fighter practicing the exact same move 80,000 times, they're doing that same kick, that same punch over and over and over again, so that when they get in that octagon, it's automatic. They don't have to think. That's why I keep talking about bet sizing correctly, because you want that to be automatic. If you're thinking of your bet size every day, you're in a lot of trouble. If you're adjusting it every day, you're in a lot of trouble. So the repeat is by design, brother. I'm sorry if it gets old to those that understand it, but we get new people in here all the time, and nothing's going to be more important than helping them manage their risk correctly.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to get to Crackman, but Gianni, give us a little bit of MLB nuggets.
All right. Miami, 952, Miami, plus 120, all the way down to plus 110. One of the guys I trade with, he sent me Atlanta. They bet Atlanta at minus 175, and they also bet Toronto at plus 125. They don't usually follow through. They'll bet overnights. And then we took Milwaukee plus 130 and Milwaukee plus 125. So low volume so far today. But again, you got the NHL, you got the NBA for today and tomorrow. And hopefully you guys, whether you follow or fade, do some damage.
Yeah,
Thank
Gianni,
you, Easy, my man Phantom. Good looking out.
Yeah, Gianni, what do you have up? What do you have up, and what can clients expect this week? I think.
Well, now I gave I gave tomorrow's 4%, 2%, 3% for free. So I don't think that's going to be in the package unless I add to it. But I do have baseball and NBA tonight. That'll be up within the next 60 minutes. And the UFC card's coming up on Saturday. We had a week off. Really excited about that. So yeah, good time to jump on. And tomorrow we will be doing blackjack, going over bet sizing correctly once again, and teaching them a little more advantage tricks.
Love it. Thank you so much, Gianni. Number one last 7 days, number one last 30
Thanks
days.
for having me, brother.
Already number 4 in 2025. So he's well on his way to having another really, really nice year. All right, let's bring in Crackman. Thanks to everybody that's watching. If you haven't hit the like button, please do that today. And shout out to the chat. Shout out Roger, Oscar, Titans, Hobby, Phantom, Peasy, Justin, love you. Legs, love you. Andrew, love you. What's up, Craig? I think that covered just about anybody. Dan Alexander. What is Dan Alexander doing in the chat? He's supposed to be producing the show. Bill, I want to get to NBA first because I want to kind of talk a little bit about MLB because of how good your props have been, and I'm a fellow prop bettor myself. I thought that Detroit New York Knicks game was absolutely wild. Like Detroit looks like they're ready to make the upset, and then the Knicks just blow them completely out of the water. What was your take on that one? And is that just is Detroit going to struggle to come back from that? Or how do you read this game between the Knicks and the Pistons?
Well, first, good morning, Andy. Thanks for having me on, and thanks for everyone watching. Just getting over I was doing an East Coast trip there following the golf tour, PGA tour, the last couple tournaments, and got a little bit of a cold. First cold I had in a couple of years, so usually kind of stay away from everybody. Anyway, it's funny I was stuck in Charleston for a couple of days at my buddy's house, and I don't really watch too much NBA. I just this is not an NBA fan. I'd rather watch a college game than these prima donnas. But however, I did watch that Knick game, and I was like, wow. The Pistons kind of controlled the game for 3.5, 3 quarters. The Knicks went on that 21-0 run. And I asked him, I said, I don't watch a lot of NBA. Is that 21-0? How do you, that can't be normal. But I had all the stars in the crowd going crazy there at MSG. It's it's funny. You're watching the Knick game, then the Laker game came on. It's like the who's who of Hollywood and Hollywood East to watching these games. It was pretty cool. The crowd was going crazy. It was a pretty cool thing to watch, though. Anyway, we'll see if the Pistons can come back today. That was a devastating loss there. The line today is around 6.5. Total's about 220. And I'll be looking at the prop market in this one. NBA is just so tough to beat. The sides and totals are more beatable. Some halves sometimes are beatable. But again, I'll be looking at the prop market. These playoffs had a lot of blowouts in game one. So I think game two probably be a little bit closer. And, on my Fox show, I have a Fox Nationwide show, Fox Sports Radio. I'm blessed to have that nationwide show on the weekends. We interview one of the big sports books directors. Boy, I think they may have even lost money yesterday. Everyone was betting money line parlays yesterday on these favorites. As we know, they all came home. And but I still won't be getting a collection bucket out for these sports books. They made a lot of money, this whole season, been real profitable. Football season was unbelievable for the sports books in certain ways. And, their futures market, their holds on their futures, they make a ton of money. Duke losing to Houston, one of the biggest profitable days in college basketball history for them. But anyway, I think these games too will be a little bit closer. But it's good to shop too. Gianni makes some great points there. It's so good to shop lines. I have many books at my disposal here in Las Vegas. I've been thrown out of a couple of them too. I like to throw them under the bus anytime I can. Stations threw me out. Treasure Island threw me out. William Hill, which is the Caesars brand, threw me out. And they all threw me out for one thing, using my brain, winning. So, but I still have Westgate, Circa, South Point, Wynn. Very good to me. So, yeah, pretty cool.
Any particular props you like for this one? I know the chat, they like, Beasley over his PRA and his 3-point shooting. I don't know where that came from this year, but that's been cool to watch. Someone likes Hardaway over their threes. I find the Knicks, I don't know, they're so dependent on their starting guys. I only look at their starters for their props. Any particular props you like in that game?
Nothing yet, but I will. The prop market's my thing, so I will have some plays for us on the props. I like betting NBA props, Major League Baseball props, NBA props. Boy, I tell you, I only wish I could get more money down because this year has really been an unbelievable year on NBA prop. Listen, I'm going to beat the props. It's that simple. They have so many different lines to look at during the season. Now they have 50, 60 props a game, some of these sports books like DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM, Caesars. I'm going to beat them because they just can't keep a close enough eye on that prop market when they have looking at 200, 300, sometimes 400 props a day. So I'm going to beat that. We'll have that later on. Happy to have baseball season back here too. Nothing like enjoying a baseball game for me. Growing up back east, I grew up on baseball and boxing. I know it's kind of boring to a lot of people, baseball and golf. I love watching baseball and golf. There's nothing like a Sunday day 4 watching the Heritage yesterday or watching the Masters 2 weeks ago. Nothing like that. I really enjoy that.
Yeah, well, let's talk MLB. I want to talk about props after, but give us a couple thoughts on St. Louis and Atlanta. Cardinals just swept by the Mets and the Braves. They just swept Minnesota. So you have two teams that are kind of coming in opposite directions. Do you look at current form or do you say, well, we got a misvalue on one of these teams? One of them's completely overvalued because they're coming off of a sweep. How do you look at situations like this?
Both of these teams started the season off with playoff hopes. They thought they were going to be, and listen, it's early yet too. Don't get me wrong. I think the Cardinals are 9-13, and I think the Braves are maybe 8-13 or around there. So, but both of them started out really with great hopes, like most teams do. But it's an interesting situation here. I'm actually leaning towards a prop bet here for everyone that's watching here. I'm leaning towards the Braves pitcher. It's funny. Everyone has trouble with my name. Boy, this guy has got some name. Schwellenbach. Schwellenbach's I think I'm pronouncing it right.
You did
Over.
good. It's really good. I had to look it up on YouTube before
Yeah.
the show. I have to go Google these. That's the best way, by the way. If you need to know how to pronounce somebody's name, just go to YouTube, type the person's name in, and you'll have the announcer pronounce it perfect for you. Works like a charm.
Right. And I want to always try to get that right. So his total outs, over to strikeouts in the game in this one. I'm looking. He had a great start to the season, his first 3 games, but he got roughed up a little bit in his last one versus the Blue Jays. So I look to get him back on track today at home versus the Cardinals. And I like his strikeouts over in this one. And that's what I enjoy. The strikeout props, I really have been successful on too over the years. So anyone that joins me will see, these prop markets. And I'm so happy that these sports books have lines up on these things, on props like this. And someone just asked about playoff prop. NFL draft props. Justin, you guys probably know from the past. That's why from my multiple shows on different networks, I destroyed the NFL props. I destroyed the NBA. When I'm talking about the draft props in NBA, draft props in NFL. Boy, we have killed over the years. Unfortunately, we've killed the market too. I can't get down any big money, but you know what? I'm going to throw you guys a bone here. Hold on. Wasn't planning to do this, but let's throw anyone watching. I have something here for you guys. Boy, I tell you, I can only get in trouble probably.
Well, while you're looking that up, I'm gonna brag for you. 17-8 on your MLB props this year. That's like 68%. That's cool. Like absolutely fantastic. So this is why I wanted to talk props with you, because I'm with you, Bill. I was up 49 units just in NBA props this season. It was my best NBA season. Yeah. I had no sides and totals. It was just the props. It's the perfect market. It's beautiful.
1 or 2 games maybe. But yeah, so I will throw these guys a bone here because I wasn't planning to give out. You know why? Because it's not fair. It's not. Listen, I know I can give out a prop package of NFL props for the draft. I don't think it's fair to give out lines that are unobtainable, lines that only certain sports books have, lines that they don't take any bets on them. This morning I went to one of the big sports books. I thought I was going to get down. I wanted a certain bet, and I'm going to give you guys that right now. That's it's under 2.5 first round quarterbacks. I found plus 270 and plus 250. So it's just, listen, we know it's people. They're supposed to be more. There's supposed to be more than 3 quarterbacks. I get it, but however, the value is taking the plus money. So sure enough, I load up the account, put in. I just put in 1,000, even though I'd like to have more than that. But I put 1,000 in, I came back $240, which is good for, listen, the average bet in this country is under $100, just under 100. So that's good for people. I understand, but not all the sports books had this, so I didn't think it was fair. Under 2.5 quarterbacks in the first round. You could take that down to, I seen plus 230. I would take plus 230 for a peanut or something. So there's a draft prop for you guys. Let me give you another one. Let me give you a Graham over 5.5. I think Graham will be 6 or more drafted. That means you're drafted 6 or worse. And over 5.5 is plus 110 I seen this morning. So again, these aren't, this is not available. A lot of the sports books didn't think it would be fair. But if you have some of the PPH accounts or something, maybe you could find them, because I know they were on some PPH accounts. So there's a couple things for you guys, and I appreciate you dealing with my grovelly voice this morning, and thanks for having me on, Andy.
Well, Bill, feel better, and I can't wait. I could talk props with you for hours and hours and hours about the ways to try and get as much down as humanly possible. Crackman not feeling good, but stepping up, giving us some free plays and such. So always appreciate him. Go ahead and find him over at WagerTalk.com. Guys, coming off another big MMA weekend for us, 2-1 in the PFL. One of our winners was a plus 170. The other was a 4% play. We extend our lead in number 1 MMA units. And as Gianni said, there is a big UFC event that is so bettable. And there's a PFL event, and we already have a 5% MMA play that is up. I'm going to go over at the end here. We're going to recap how our bankroll reset and what our plays looked like last week. MMA has been one of the bright spots for 2025. We are seeing it very, very well. We're 10-1 in 5% plays in 2025. So our max bets are really good, and our MMA plays have been very good. I would expect this to be probably the highest volume week we've had this year in MMA. So you can get the 5% play. I would recommend trying to get the 7 days. Last day, you get it for $11 per day. Or if you just want to get the one play, that's fine. But again, really want to try and push you guys to at least the 7 days, preferably the 30 days. And I'll go over why I want to do the 30 days. But take advantage of the 5% UFC plays. They've been absolutely dynamite for ourselves and for clients. Free play in the NHL tonight. Look for Mackenzie Blackwood over 22.5 saves. Really, really good track record against Dallas. He's gone over in all 3 meetings this season, 23, 26, and 36. He finished with only 23, but Dallas missed 12 additional shot attempts. I think there's a little bit more volume that's going to be out there. Stars have been the league's 8th best team in shots on goal on offense. They're averaging 29.05. I think we see some regression up from that 23 shots on goal. So I think there's going to be some consistent shot attempts from Dallas. They have to get more offense going. Got beat 5-1. So they have to do better on shots on goal. So, and Blackwood's playing well. I think he's going to stop a lot of them. So Mackenzie Blackwood over 22.5 saves is your free play for NHL. All right, we're privileged to have the number 1 soccer handicapper the last 365 days, none other than Bryan Power. Bryan, congratulations on that, man. That's nothing to sneeze at, man. Good work.
Yeah, thank you. Had a winner yesterday on the pitch. Gladbach plus 1.5. Looked good early. Then there was, as you know, Andy, soccer sometimes a match can just turn on its head. They conceded 3 in a row, and then I'm like, oh, well, here we go. But then they got the one back. I said, hey, all we need to do, the beauty of taking the plus 1.5 in soccer, hey, if you lose by 1, we still cash. That's what we did. And it was a decent weekend overall. It was highlighted certainly by the 5% in the NBA, our first 5% NBA play of the season, Andy. And it was, boy, did we save it for a good one. Minnesota didn't need those 4 points, did we, against the Lakers? They blew them out, and that was good. Gave a little back with Houston last night. That was a dumb play. But we'll see what we can do the rest of the week here, as we're doing well in MLB, 12-4 there as well. So excited to break these games down and talk to you here a little bit, man. It's been too long since I've talked to you, I feel.
I know. People tune in for the plays. Bryan gives you the self-analysis for free.
Hey, I call what I see it. It's a bad. I mean, you're sitting. I read all the. I knew going in that Houston's half-court offense, it could be ugly.
Oh man,
it was worse than ugly last night. And I mean, although I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for Steph Curry being Steph Curry, I think we had a chance. He just had a couple shots that you just tip your cap. And what do you say? You're like, the guy's the best 3-point shooter of all time. You can't defend that. So.
Yeah, it was rough for Houston. I mean, there was like Fred VanVleet running 3-pointers. There was just like some really strange shots there at the end.
People watching the show who probably ardently disagree with this. I am someone who thinks just shoot yourself out of a 3-point slump. That's what you do in modern basketball. So I'm like, keep going. But even I was like, guys, maybe we should actually ixnay on the 3-point shots, because this is not working here. So
you could also shoot yourself into one, Bryan, if you're not careful.
I was trying to shoot myself watching that game, to be honest, but that's a different story for a different day.
All right, let's talk the Clippers and the Nuggets. I'm from Indiana. I'm an Indiana Pacers fan. I said before this playoff started that the Clippers and Nuggets I was more interested to watch than my own team. I think it's fascinating. Game 1 delivered. You get OTs. You get the Nuggets squeak out the win. I'm interested in your thoughts. To me, the biggest stat was the Clippers got 13 points from their bench. Meanwhile, Westbrook comes in and gets 15 by himself. So adjustments to be made, or what do you expect from game 2 here?
All right. So perhaps I'm on an island here, but I just don't agree with this line move, Andy, as the Nuggets go from -3 in game 1 to +1 here in game 2, especially since they, by the way, won game 1, albeit in overtime. And now I understand the zigzag theory. I use a modified version of it myself when handicapping the NBA playoffs. And yes, the Clippers probably should have won game 1. They probably will not turn it over 20 times again tonight. But same time, they got 32, 6, and 11 from Harden. Leonard and Zubats combined to shoot 19 of 30 from the field. Does all that get replicated? Probably not, even though I understand the Nuggets' defensive numbers have not been great this season. I believe they have the worst any team in the playoffs. And I get that people came into the series Clippers, but at the end of the day, still the Nuggets at home. I don't think they should be a dog. I agreed with the spread on game one, which is why I personally didn't have any action on the game. And of course, it fell right near the number. My lean for game two, this is not a client play, just a lean. It's just solely based on how the numbers move. I would take the Nuggets here. Just a couple trends that back me up. 4 seeds that win game one, 19-6 that win game one, I should say. 19-6 straight up, 17-8 ATS in game two. Also, when you have a road team coming off an overtime loss in the playoffs like the Clippers, just 6-11 straight up the last 10 years. So trends kind of agree with me there. Small lean to Denver tonight in game two.
Love it. Bryan Power breaking down the Clippers and the Nuggets. #1 soccer handicapper last 365 days. Brian, we're going to move to MLB real quick. Before we do that, tell everyone what you have up on WagerTalk.
Yeah, 4 plays we're going with Andy here on Monday. You can get them all, $29 at my page, of course, as everyone's been talking about. The best deal is the 7 days for $77. That time is ticking. Also, if for some reason you missed that and you want to go a shorter deal, tomorrow, Andy, is a very big day in my life and the life of WagerTalk Today, as it will be the 1-year anniversary of the Morning Wager. Mark Zinn and I, we will have a special offer to commemorate that. So it's going to be a 3-day special, so people can check that out. Tune in tomorrow morning to hear all about that special. So, but 4 plays today, and I'm about ready to give one of them, free of charge here on the play or on the show.
Oh, nice. So it's in San Francisco, Milwaukee. Floor is yours.
Yeah, this is a matchup. We have guys before me talking about the plus price. I just want to take the plus price here in this matchup. I think it's a pretty decided starting pitching edge for the Brewers. Quinn Priester on the mound. He's made 2 starts so far, 2025. He's allowed just 1 run on 7 hits, and he pitched at Coors Field in one of them. So, no small order to pitch well there. He was even better last time out, held the Tigers to 1 hit over 5 shutout innings. San Francisco's going with Robbie Ray. He's got control issues, big-time control issues. 14 walks his last 3 starts. He's also allowed 4 homers in his 19 innings pitched. He allowed 4 runs his last time out, was bailed out by the offense. I don't think that's going to happen again with the Giants facing Priester. And I get, the Giants have been a surprise this year. They're 14-8, plus 30 run differential. Very good start. But they dropped 2 of 3 over the weekend to the lowly Angels. That wraps up a long 10-game road trip. Andy, I don't need to tell you, throughout all sports, certainly a lot of people talk about this in the NBA as well. After a long trip, first game back home, there's sort of this malaise for the team. And I think that's going to be a case here with the Giants. I know it's not a long trip coming back from LA, but keep in mind, they blew a 3-run 9th-inning lead yesterday. So there's probably, throughout the dugout, a sense of disappointment after a loss like that. Giants usually would have the bullpen edge, but their bullpen just blew a game yesterday. And the Brewers got to rest their high leverage arms on Sunday because they blew out the Athletics 14-1. Brew Crew have won 4 or 5 overall. They've got a top 4 offense in terms of runs scored. That's only behind the Cubs, Yankees, and Reds, who put 24 on the board yesterday. And keep an eye. This is something you always try to, find an X factor here. Milwaukee yesterday stole 9 bases, a franchise record, and that's not out of the ordinary. This is a team that's going to be very, very aggressive on the base paths throughout 2025. I just can't pass up the Brewers this underdog price. It's not a large play; it's a 2% play, but it is a client release for me. Give me the Brew Crew.
Yeah, I'm with you. I had a note here. Ray. Boy, that's a high ERA and a whip for a 3-0 record. It doesn't make any sense.
And for me, Andy, that's just something, when the results don't match the performance, that's when I like to jump in, obviously. And yes, very, very good point with pointing out the record. It's an extremely misleading 1-loss record. I mean, imagine evaluating pitchers based on their 1-loss record. Come on, how 1955 can you be?
You at least gotta you have to bring it up because it is a stat. It's an interesting stat.
Yeah,
you make an interesting point out of it.
No, your point was great. I'm just saying, Robbie Ray's so good because he's 3-0. No, actually, he's not good at all. He's very lucky. So yeah, hopefully he gets that first L.
Absolutely. Bryan Power, #1 soccer handicapper, and go celebrate a morning wager with him and Mark Zino tomorrow. You guys have done a fantastic job with the show.
Thank you.
It's been fun to watch it evolve. That's the best part about shows is just watching them get better and better and better. And I know Mark had a really nice run and talked about you being #1. So congratulations on that 1-year anniversary tomorrow. Go get Bryan Power's plays. He's got 4 of them up today. Take advantage of the 7 days. Mark down to $11. Thank you so much, Brian. Appreciate you as always. All right, guys, we're going to talk about a handicapper that lost last week. None other than yours truly. So this is what we do every Monday. We take a look at all of these things we post inside our Discord. So when we do our Monday recaps, this just goes out to everybody that follows us. You can follow all this for free, but it's really important to look and see what happened. Where did we go wrong and how bad was it? So we went 27-34, minus 12.15 units. I am not terribly surprised by this because the first couple weeks of April were so good, it was unsustainable. And as silly as this sounds, you just want to avoid the weeks where you don't completely nuke your bankroll. You don't want to have those minus 40 unit weeks. A minus 12.15 unit week is nothing. And I'll show you why here in a second. But when I just go through and see what went wrong, I mean, my NBA and NHL, I've had great seasons in both. NBA been my best season by far. NHL close behind. I just picked the wrong week to go over in that. MMA coming in really, really strong. Really, really happy with that. And a special shout out to Jan and our cricket department. 3-0 sweep the board for plus 7.5 units. This is why it's so important when we stress that we have a team. There's 5 of us. We're not all 5 going to be cold in 1 week. So when one of us is cold, which it was me with the NBA and NHL, I feel like I made up for it a little bit in auto racing and with some of the golf picks as well. Those were a really nice spot, but you have other guys that you can depend on in some of these other sports. So that's our last 7 days recap. And I tell you why this doesn't bother me that much is, Dan, if we could bring up what I pay attention to the most is the month. We pride ourselves that we've been profitable 14 out of the last 17 months. And listen, we would have to do a lot of really dumb things to end April not profitable. We're up 32.3 units, and that's the number that I'm paying attention to the most. That's why I keep stressing, like, get these 30-day passes, because at the end of 30 days, more often than not, we're going to be profitable. I also update the numbers here for the year. We're up 82 units. So the year is going great, and April is going great. I think here next week or so, we're going to be able to say we've moved to 15 out of the last 18 months. So one bad week, not that big of a deal. We move on. I'll adjust a few things with my handicapping, but everyone else looks good. And shout out to the lacrosse department, Dan. Dan cashed his 4% future on Syracuse's wins total on the under, and we still have a week to go, brother.
Yeah, I told you. I knew it was going to get a little bit dicey, but that stretch to end the year, that's what we talked about the entire time. We were like, Cuse will get home for us. When will it happen? So even when we lose on the damn Hampton Pirates, and that's how you know how deep we go in our research department, Andy, is when we're having bets on the Hampton Pirates lacrosse team. Lost on that one. We make it back with the 4%er. So that's always good when you get those plus money and when you grab those future plays. So Andy, I was glad the lax department was at least able to stave off a complete explosion, because we're never betting on Hampton again, even when it makes sense. I think we've learned that, right, Andy?
Yes, we were. Yes, it was bad. Dan, I will also tell you something funny. So I made my initial bet on Syracuse. So Dan and I have a future last year. I went a little too big on. I was very irresponsible when I bet last year's.
Loyola.
I may have.
I had a really compelling case, though. I made a really good case for why we were.
It was great. So I bet Syracuse, and I forgot that I left it in my bet slip. So I have this bet that was pending for 2 months because I accidentally bet a UFC fighter to win, and I accidentally parlayed it with Syracuse. I've been sitting on that bad boy for 2 months. So I'm glad to cash that one. But thank you, Dan. Appreciate you. Real quick,
job, man.
Thank you. I want to answer this question. Do I sports bet for a living or supplemental income? My bankroll, this is the way I do it. My bankroll, I don't touch. Once I've started winning, I treat it like a stock portfolio. I'm not going to pull any money out for anything unless I know I can put it back in. I told the story about how I took a $4,000 bankroll, built it up big enough to take money out, put a down payment down on property for my production company. And then as soon as we got the mortgage, I was able to put it right back in. I use it as just a big investment. It's going to be part of my retirement plan. It's going to be part of my future assets. When I do my financial planning with my financial advisor at the end of the year, we talk about my bankroll and where it is. So me personally, I don't use it as any part of any of my weekly, monthly, or yearly income. It is just a gigantic asset, like a 401k, like a Roth IRA, like any stock portfolio. That's the way I do it. I've learned over the years. Don't tell people to do what to do with their own money. This is simply recommendation, and it's certainly not financial advice. I'm just telling you what I personally do with it, and that's what I recommend. If you're an advantage and a winning better, the quicker you can build that bankroll up. And again, in our Discord, there's a spreadsheet where it shows you each week, based on our plays, wins and losses, what your bankroll would be. We started with 10,000. We're in week 88 and we're around 50,000. So not many businesses you can take 10 grand, turn it into 50 after 88 weeks. So, all right, guys. Oh, hey, listen, Dan is one of the good Philly fans. I know he catches a lot of grief for being a Philly fan, but Dan's one of the really, you're respectful. You're at least respectful. I don't think you're.
I will fade my teams. I'll fade my teams the same way that I'll bet on them. I use my fandom as a tool against those bookmakers that we so fight against, other than our man Art and our friend Dave Mason. But other than them, forget the bookmakers, right, Andrew?
Well, I meant you're not going to bean old ladies in the tailgate.
No, the beaming old ladies with batteries days, they're behind.
No.
You know what I mean? Who amongst
So
us?
80s.
But those days are behind me.
So 80s. So, all right, guys, we got to get out of here. Run just a little bit late, but a great show. Special thanks to Gianni, Crackman, Bryan Leonard, and Bryan Power. Again, guys, hit the like button, please. If you haven't hit the like button, it takes 1 second. Doesn't even take 2 seconds. It takes 1 second. Hit the like button. Thanks to everybody that got us over 200,000 subscribers. What's next? 300,000 subscribers. I think we can do it by the end of the week. No, I'm just kidding. All right. 5% MMA play is up. Take advantage of the 7 days. Knocked down to $11 today. Good luck on all your plays today, and we'll see everyone later.